Hello, beautiful lights, and welcome to another episode of From a Medium's Perspective. Today, I'm being joined from a guest from Canada, and not only is she a psychic medium, but she's also an astrologer, and her name is Zahra Ali. Zahra is a mother of 4 children. She sort of embodies a Long Island medium soccer mom type personality, although she's very warm and friendly. She has her own business. She does a healthy food-based company and has been doing that since 2013. But she is also a really gifted psychic medium. Her present studies involve quantum healing, astrology, tarot, and numerology. And she has her own show and hosts the Solar Temple radio program. And you can find her on blogtalkradio.com/Solar Temple Radio. She looks at, in her show, the power of astrology, the chakra system, and how they affect our emotions, because they're the keys for creating the life that we want. And so we have a very interesting topic that she's bringing to us today. And that is, how does astrology affect our chakras? Welcome, Zahra Ali.
Hey, Tracy. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, my utmost pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. That was really a nice introduction. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No worries, no worries. So I'm curious, that's such an intriguing combination. It's one that most people don't really think about. I think we forget that we are sometimes a two-phased being, having a connection to the other world as well as our physical expression, and that we are natural creatures. And I'm just so curious to hear how you're going to connect astrology with our chakras. So maybe first explain, what is your view, what's your perspective of astrology as a science there?
Thank you so much. That's a great place to start with. For me, fascination started with understanding the world we live in differently. You have that moment for me personally when I realized that everything is not what it is.
Yes.
And the understanding that everything is mind, and then you understand there's the lower mind and there's the higher mind. And
yes.
When you connect those two, when you understand your lower mind, you're taking care of your routine, everyday thing. And then there's the higher mind that connects everything, where everything is one. That's when it clicked for me. And then I say, oh, astrology is not just the sign. So let's go back to the history. What is astrology? And what I find is, as I research, is modern day astronomy that study the stars in the sky originally started with astrology, and then they separated the two. They became astronomy. This traditional astrologer continued studying, but in the effect to the human affair, because astronomy, when they study the star, they don't correlate. They don't believe that the star has any effect on us.
Yeah.
But in astrology, since back when we can remember that this has been existed, I think it's an inborn. It's just something that we know. Like the people that were drawing in the caves and Pyramid of Giza, all that knowledge, they didn't need any equipment. God knows what type of equipment. It has to be something inside of them.
Yes.
I'm teaching them this. So those people understood, when this star is close to us, this is what it does to us.
Right.
So that's how they reported the astrology and the effect of human affairs.
Much more in tune with natural systems. We're so detached in our society from that.
Absolutely. And that's what I feel like we're going back. And that's why I went back to do the radio, is because this time, personally, I feel that is an awakening to the wholeness of who we are. For me, there's something special understanding the true being without the human conditioning. We talked a lot about conditioning, but going beyond that and understanding why the conditioning. Astrology helps us understand the why, and that we are even more powerful if we really give our focus of study. So if anybody's interested, there is so much to study, and believe me, it took me months to come up to what I'm going to tell you now. So please don't trust what I say. Don't take in my word for it. Do your own research.
Of course we're going to take your word for it, though. That's why I asked you on the show.
Yeah. For now, take notes. And then if you want to continue your education, please take it in your own hand. So let's just start let's say nobody knows about astrology. They're going to
Yes.
say,
Does some of our listeners come from a intuitive base? Some people are just curious. Some come from a paranormal base. People that are just curious about life as it extends beyond this and the influences of things like the stars on us. Yeah, let's take it there.
okay, so I'm going to explain to you that there is 12 sign of astrology. How many planets? I'll tell you all the
I
planets.
think 9, or at least now, well, I don't know, there's that planet X out there.
Oh, wait, that one, I'm not sure about that.
Me
And
neither.
there's the 13th sign too, right? There's the 13th sign as well, right? So let's not add that in the mix.
No.
But the 12 sign of the zodiac are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and those are the zodiacal sign that people know that is called the sun sign.
Okay, yes.
The first one, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and then we're back to Pisces, which is the last one. Yeah. And each of those sign has a planetary ruler. Like Aries is ruled by Mars. Taurus is ruled Venus, but Venus rules Taurus and Libra. Okay. Gemini as well is ruled by Mercury, but Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The sun and the moon have only one rulership, and that is moon is Cancer, and sun rules Leo. We talked about Virgo, which is Mercury, and Scorpio, I forgot, is Mars as well. Scorpio and Aries are ruled by Mars.
Oh, interesting.
Some of them believe Pluto ruled it at some point in ancient astrology. They say Scorpio was ruled by Pluto. Sagittarius is ruled by, is it Neptune? I think Neptune. Yeah. Is it
Neptune? I'm not as good as you are on astrology, but I think so. I'm a Sagittarius. I should know. So and probably Neptune would fit me. So if it isn't.
That's what we have in common, because my ascendant is Pisces, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So we are into our dream, into the other world, right? It's easy for us.
Absolutely. The other world, yes.
Yeah, it's easy for us to live there, right? We don't understand this world.
Great place to be.
And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of electricity and insight, quick insight, momentary insight. If we take that I just described, the zodiac sign and the planetary rulership, I'm going to attach that to the chakras, and that's how they come together.
Before we get into how they connect, for those that haven't a good feeling for what a chakra is, what is a chakra from your perspective? How would you describe them?
That's such a great question. And this is what I love about talking about the chakras and astrology, is the basic energy of our movement. Somebody once said, your chakras are blocked. If they're blocked, apparently we cannot literally physically move.
Oh.
Yeah, somebody once said that. I don't know how true is that, but that's how powerful it is. You heard about the chi? It's literally like that. It's just that the amount that we circulate that doesn't add up. Look at it like a hole. The cleaner the hole, the fluidity of the energy, and the better your life is, the easier you'll be on your life path. Let's put it that way. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I think C.W. Ledbetter, who wrote around the turn of the century, 1800s, early 1900s, considered them the interface between the two dimensions, the seen and the unseen. So that makes total sense, sort of like an energy space. That's very interesting.
The Sanskrit is the wheel. They call it chakra, literally means the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
This is the wheel that is allowing our everyday life activities. So the root chakra, if we can go from there, which is our rooting, like you and me would have a hard time rooting ourselves, right? I don't know how long it took us to, I can say personally.
Still working on it.
Exactly.
I think we all do.
I was going to say, just recently I realized I have to put my root down, because I was just like, no, I'm not staying here. I want to be out of here, right?
Yes. And that's located at the base of the spine, basically, right?
Yeah, from your hips down, your legs all the way to the earth. That's when you need to let it go. Okay. And some say it is a planet that there could be Mars, Saturn, and Pluto, depending on what type of astrology they're doing. Oh. And the sign that is associated with that could be Capricorn and Aquarius. I don't know how they add up the two, but it's like the two planet ruling. And what I love about this, and I discovered while I was studying, is for men and women, this is why it's so important for us to know. As a woman, we are the creative one. We are the sacred one. You know, we give birth. We're a girly girl. We dress up. We nest the house. We're just looking to make it pretty. And I don't want to generalize. Please don't jump off your chair if you're not a girly girl. You know, other way of being. Like early girl doesn't have to be my way. It could be any other way that you are being a creative female energy. And the male energy is the energy of the base. Like that's why we women, we want a strong man because he's going to keep us secure. Like don't take the stereotype literally.
Right. There's many gender permutations and sexual orientations, but just a masculine energy in general. Absolutely.
Yeah, look at the archetype, the feminine archetype and the masculine archetype. That's what we're working. So please don't take it literally. The men are strong in the root chakra for their male energy. So what happens, the exchange between male and female or any relationship, we are looking for that, oh, I want that security. And the man, it would show, the masculine energy would show in his base. If he has a strong base, the other one will pick up that strong base that we are looking for. And a man would pick up the feminine, fluid, nurturing side, female energy. If you don't have those two, the exchange would be very tough. Like you'd be forcing. It wouldn't be the infinite H shape. When we're nourishing each other, when we're in equal platform, that's what we're doing. That's the dance. Like it comes in, it goes back. The man is looking for that creativity, fluid energy, and the woman is looking. So we're actually balancing each other that way. So if you look at the traditional man and women, that's what we are doing. So if you don't have a strong sacral as a female, there's something missing. The other counterpart will notice that. So when I saw that, when we do that, we empower each other. So the man, he's going to give back to our third chakra that I didn't talk about. But that's the dance. He's going to give back to our solar plexus, which is our power, and is giving us a status to stand on.
You know, I get what you're saying because I've noticed we hear a lot about Kundalini energy, which is a balance of male and female. And I'm really fascinated with that concept of the bottom two chakras, the red and the orange chakra, being part of that connection to the earth, because it is when we take on body form that we split into a male form or a female form, whatever our particular balance is that we seek within our relationships and ourselves. Irregardless, our form tends toward one or the other, although there are people that have both or neither. But I find it fascinating that there is that balance of masculine and feminine energy in the lower chakral system. Very interesting.
And those are the three that you need. You need the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus to combine and in balance. It won't hit your heart unless you have those three properly running.
Like the male is our survival instinct, female being our creative nurturing. Yeah, very interesting. What's the third one that you were going to talk about?
The solar plexus. So the ruling planet is the moon, obviously. We talk about feelings, right?
Okay, yes. So the orange sacral is the moon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a very feminine energy, yes.
Exactly. And the navel is Mars and Scorpio of the zodiacal signs, Scorpio and Leo. But the ruling planet is Mars. Mars is courage, right? It gives you courage. And the soldier, some say, and the general, some say, for battling. The self-confidence and building the courage to go and fight for what is yours, what is rightfully yours.
You know, it runs through my mind about, some people say that our true intelligence is in our solar plexus. And that makes sense with the Sun and Mars and Leo, Scorpio, because Leo is very much about the self and so self-awareness and leadership, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Scorpio, very intuitive. Oh, that's very interesting. Sorry, I'm fascinated.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm loving your feedback.
I'm taking notes too.
Yeah, thank you. And they say when you have those three completely fluid, properly going in and out in harmonious, like let's say you're doing a job and you don't like it, you're not feeling it. nothing is going on, then you won't have your heart in it, even in a relationship. So they say your three base chakra, the heart is the door to your true, honest self. It doesn't matter what it is, but if you 100% believe in it and your heart is in it, the heart will be open to that project, whether it's work, whether it's relationship, whatever it is, it will flourish. Let's put it that way. It will make it happen for you. You know how sometimes you really want something, but you just believe it's not going to happen because the mind is interfering, but the heart believes it and then it happened? That's how it works. You have to be true integrity with yourself. Like, you don't have to check in with anybody, but it just has to be true for you. And it won't happen unless you work those 2 or 3 bottom chakras. And that is ruled by Venus, beauty, abundance, fairness. And the signs that go with the heart is Libra and Taurus.
Venus for love, yes.
And prosperity.
And what did you say, Venus? And I didn't catch
the other 2 signs are Libra and Taurus, because Venus rules Libra and Taurus. And the throat is Mercury, the messenger, obvious, right?
Right.
And the 2 signs that goes with that is Virgo and Gemini. What is true for the throat is if it's not truly coming from your heart, then you won't articulate properly, right?
Oh, right.
Have the proper speech. That's how we manifest, because we speak it out loud. They say when you're in true integrity with your speech and your heart, it manifests faster. We can't cheat ourselves.
Right.
Isn't it amazing how they all work together?
Yes, it is.
That's why it's really important to know ourselves and to work our stuff out. And we'll talk about tricks on how to clear this up and get to work for yourself. The last one, at the third eye, before we go to the crown, is Neptune and is Pisces and Sagittarius. Look at that. We're talking about that. So the 2 of us, we live in Neptune.
Yes,
and where's Neptune? In the third eye, right?
Yes, very cool.
And that, when you speak and you verbalize it, you envision. That's your vision, where you get the insight and then you're able to see it, and then you...
Yes. Oh, wow. This is so powerful. Go ahead.
Sometimes you can always open before you have your heart desire, you're talking, but then you get that insight, one flash. Oh my God, I know this is how I'm going to do it. Exactly. Then you can get to work and then bring it back to the root chakra and then get physical. But before you're going to get that insight of that pure moment of this is what it's going to look like. Because that's what we need sometimes. We talk about it, but we just don't know how we're going to go about it. Even the problem, the intuition thing is from the third eye. That's when you're going to get that clarity and that vision in that insight is that third eye. Before I continue, I just want to add to this. I said everything, but then there's other part that the chakras are connected. So let me see if people need more information. Let me give this to you. And the astrology is part of that I explained. The red chakra is the C, and there is a musical note that goes with it as well. The C and the Do. And I'm not a musician, so don't tell me.
Okay. Right.
I don't know how they sound. And then the skeleton part of our body, the lymph, the elimination system, and then we talked about security, trust, survival, money, home, job, all that.
Yes.
Orange, it is related in a part of our organ, the gonads and the lumbar plexus, reproduction and assimilation, sensation, feeling, we talked about that. Food, sex, appetite.
Yeah. Oh, well, it happens.
Yeah. The solar plexus is muscular. It rules our muscular digestive system. And then the freedom, power, control, self-definition, and our intelligence and taste as well. The root chakra is associated with the sense of smell. The sacral chakra is associated with taste. And our solar plexus we're talking about is the vision as well. Our sight, the physical sight, not the inner sight. Our heart is the touch, relating, giving, the perception of love and the acceptance, and cardiac, of course, respiratory, circulation, and the immune system. Our throat is related with hearing, and that surprises me. Can you believe that?
You speak and hear. It's like a duality or a balance. Very interesting.
Yeah, I was so shocked when I learned that. Pressing, receiving, abundance, flow, manifestation, listening to the intuition. Who knew the throat had all that going on?
Right.
Then the third eye, endocrine system, the inner sound. The third eye has the inner sound, and maybe the throat is outer sound. the third eye is the inner sound. Isn't that amazing?
That's so interesting.
And
Again,
then,
kind of an inner and outer duality. That's
yeah.
so interesting. Yeah.
And then they divide the soul in your crown, the spirit in your inner eye, and then your solar plexus, your personality. Like that's where we have the courage to move, the physical
Oh,
persona.
the solar plexus is our personality?
Yeah.
Oh,
For the
that makes
spirit.
sense though, in a
Yeah.
weird way, because if we're in tune with our gut and if we're creating in our world, then we're being ourself, and that is expressing our personality. That's interesting.
And the
Yes.
persona power, not the inner. That's around for the chakra and how they relate it to astrology. And once you know your astrological sign, then you know how you can work with your chakra. You can study. There's so much study in the chakra system. But your basic three, your heart, which is the mediator between, is it going to go any further with the higher and your divine power to help you manifest your physical reality? Because we all believe the longest time, I don't know where it came from, but the physical plane is not important, right? It's illusion. Personally, I come to realize that there's a reason why we're here in this physical plane. And those three bottom chakra that we always thought no good are actually the key to getting higher and being pure into that higher.
That's really excellent. And if you're interested in past episodes of the show or to contact me, my website is mediumtracylockwood.com. That's medium, Tracey, Lockwood.com. And I feel like we could cram in about 2 hours worth of interview today. So let's get hopping with the how astrology affects our chakras and what would we need to know about that. So help us out here.
Okay, if you know the basic that you have the seven chakra, because there's more, and then if you know the energy that is coming is affecting your chakra, because that's the wheel of turning that's making us breathe, walk, have energy to think, to plan, to do whatever we need to do. That is what it is. That is our basic functioning.
So the planets that you were tying to our chakras, the ones that
Yes.
you listed for us earlier,
Yes.
are actually influencing the flow of energy in that particular chakra.
Absolutely. And the astronomer back in the days, that's what they were doing. Today we call the world astrology because there's the sign, oh, when this was there, that's what happened. That's all it is energy. The energy, they say the 12th zodiacal sign that I talked about is a 12 archetype. And when I was talking about the male female, that's all there is the yin and the yang, male female, the will, the spirit, the acting, and the feeling. So if we get out of our way and we accept that those are energy impulses and what we take, like we have to feel it. That's why chakras are so important, because when we are in tune, when we are, like, I hate meditation when people talk about go ahead and meditate. My meditation is anywhere.
Yes,
Like,
right.
serious.
Yeah, in developing, I think I spent a long time in meditation. I think about an hour or so a day, but not now. Now it's a little different.
But now, just breathe. If you get used to, now I can breathe from my sacral. What is that called? Dantian? What is it called?
Mm-hmm.
Dantian. That is where the soul resides. It's right there. And that's where we need to breathe in this world. We are so focused up in our throat and chest breathing because it's so hollow, it's so small, right? The breath we take.
Yes.
I just figured what it does is when you breathe it from there, you're literally taking it from the earth, the ground. Like that's your support. That's your nourishment. Whether you're taking it from up above the heaven and you're sending it down, but you still have to be pushed or supported by the ground up and take that full breath. And that's what we don't even know. When we are in our mind, that's what we do. We breathe shorter, like faster.
Yes, when we're tense and our energy is restricted or
Yeah.
feeling fearful about something. Yes.
Exactly. And our shoulders are tight, our breath is short, and we are confused and we are panicking and we just react, right? We want to just get it done as if we're going to make it happen with that because that's the attitude we have.
Right. Get it off of me. Let's get this done.
Exactly. Coming back to the chakra and breathing, that's what it's going to do for you. You're going to feel it, you're going to know it, and that's what it is. It's an impulse for you to process it. The discernment to know, what am I feeling? What is the right action? What is the next step that I need to do? Because every moment is an opportunity for you to make a choice.
Yes. Oh, That's just like blowing my mind, because if the Dantian or our solar plexus chakra is where our soul resides, and if that is our intelligence center,
Absolutely.
wow, how important is the breath? And the breath is what starts life and ends life
Absolutely.
and between dimensions.
And you would notice if you just focus on that, that's what makes the meditation so good. Because when you connect with your soul, it's like a mini vacation for your body, literally. You would be in a spa of your own. But you
Yes.
have to find it what makes that for you, and you have to connect to your breath, and you have to check in with you. And that's what they mean. I have a little affirmation that I want to give out later on, but the you is not the personality that is meant to do the mundane thing. We don't want to dismiss the small me, but to have it in its proper place, because it's limited. That's why it has to have its proper place, because it only can do so much. The
Right?
inspiration comes from that higher you, all knowing, but only going to give it to you what you need to know at this moment, because you don't need all that information. It's smart enough to know that, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, wow.
It's so smart that it says, you know what? It's like a parenting child. I know this is what you can handle at this moment, and this is what I'm going to give it to you. And there's a reason why I'm giving you in the small pieces, so that you
Yes.
can do something with it. Otherwise, giving it all like we do human. Oh, okay, I love you so much, and boom, and we
Right.
and then we struggle to unload that and process that and understand what it is that we piecing together, because that's all life is little pieces putting together, right? And every piece is important. Once you have that desire for yourself, that's the only way you're going to recognize it. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
And work with that. It's only going to move you in the direction that you need to move, as long as you need it. And
yes.
sometimes you're like, why am I meeting all these people? It's because you need them still.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Why am I getting this? It's because we still need them. I remember 4 years ago when I was working with this woman who was very, very critical. I'm thinking, why am I here? And I was asking that question until it didn't bother me anymore, because
Uh,
I got the wisdom from that situation and why I needed her in my life. Until we embrace that which is irritating us,
uh,
is always going to irritate us.
yes,
Isn't
yes.
that amazing wisdom?
It is. Esther Hicks talks about when she channels Abraham, they talk about contrast, but you have to have something that is perhaps negative or something you don't want in order to discern what you do want. That's really beautiful.
The pieces of us that gets lost. They call
Yes.
it soul retrieval. And now what I associate with that is that part of us that we disassociated, that we didn't like, that got hurt, that got whatever, that person is triggering. So what it
Yes.
means is we have to understand what it means for us. What happened to me? Was I being critical at some point? That's something that didn't work, and I was disappointed with myself. So that brings that back to me, because I didn't make peace with that with myself. I feel like you can call the angels, you can call whatever you want. When I get triggered like that, I just want to sit a moment and be grateful that I have this insight of understanding, okay, there's something that needs to be corrected, right?
Yes.
And then I try to remember what it is. And even if I can't remember, I just say, I forgive, I love myself, because it brought me at this moment where I'm appreciating, I'm learning this lesson. I call back that part of me that ran away, that didn't know how to handle and heal, and
Uh,
affirm that it is healed and dealt with now, because now I can see it. Don't they say you can't fix something that you don't acknowledge?
yes.
That's what we are. We are fragmented part of ourselves, because that's how big we are. The shaman was telling me so many fragment of us. That's what they do, go underworld and collect pieces of you, which is just a thought form. That's what we need
Yes.
to remember. The soul is immense and is never dying, because it's that energy that never dies.
Yes.
But what dies is the thought form, and the thought form cannot exist on its own without the support of the soul. So that part that hurt us is that part, the pieces the soul gives to that, because
Mm-hmm.
you have to give life to your thought. That's what we do. We charge the thought with our own life force, with our chi.
Right.
So it's a tiny little thought we have. Like, that's why it's so important to control our thought, not to be the thought police, but it's to appreciate how our chi is so important, because it's our life. Literally, it's our essence. It's what makes us move. So if we're giving it away, imagine all the thought that we have, we distribute it, right? Our life force here and there. It's like our bank account,
Yeah, this
writing a
is
check. Just look at it that way. Every time you're going to be arguing and shout at somebody, just look at it like you're cutting a big check to that person. Like, is
Yeah.
this person that you want to cut a check for from your hard-earned life?
No.
So appreciate your life energy that way. Just monetize it like that. If we put it, because we understand money more than we understand our own soul, isn't that stupid?
Oh, that's yes.
That is why it's important to know our chakra and to know the energy that affects us, that is on the planet, that is happening to everybody, not just to you, but is unique to you. Makeup is unique to your soul, is unique to your circumstances, because we each come to this incarnation, if you believe it or not, with a mission and with baggage as well.
Right.
So it's either moving you towards to get to your path, or trying to make you understand you need to let go, this is no longer serve you, and bringing that resolution. It's either those two ways.
That's so beautiful.
Either you cut in or you embark into your new journey. So that's personally where I am, and that's what I believe at this moment. That, and the day they don't move you anymore is the day you're going to ascend to a different level of life.
Yes. Wow, that is so profound, and you always are, Zahra. That's why I wanted you on the show. You are a spectacular example of a very spiritual being, and I love it because you talk the language of the soul.
Oh, thank you so much. You're amazing as well. You know that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to let you take the lead, and then you can transition into stories when you feel ready.
Okay, I just want to finish this on, and I want to say, this is the 3 suggestions that I can give it to you if somebody is listening today and want to make a difference in their life and want to move forward where they want to go. I'm a big believer in that. Wherever you are is great. Please do not shame it, hate it, any of that, because it's not going to do you any good. Be grateful. Just take it the next step. So the first thing I put here, number 1, is to be truthful with yourself and with others. And that's the hardest thing. Because sometimes truth, we feel that we're going to hurt the other people and we don't want to tell. We want to tell little white lies. So that is done. We're no longer allowed to tell little white lies. Even if it's going to sound stupid, just please say it, whatever it is. And it takes a lot of courage. But believe me, the energy on this earth right now is supporting for us to be that. And this is another thing, is that we are living in the energy that is coming to the earth. We cannot do any other way. Whatever the time it was before, that's what we had to live and be. And this energy that is coming here is supporting us. Back in the corporate time, this woman was coming to us, and she was the CEO, director of communication, or wherever she was. She had a big position in the organization, and she came to our department and she said, this is what is going to happen. In all the department, you are a specialist in whatever you're doing. And my boss at that time looked at her and called her crazy. What do you mean we are the expert? We're not the expert. We are the supporter. We're here to guide people and support people. And come to realize 8 years later, everybody on YouTube is an expert. Like right now, you have professional studio.
Yes.
Before that, you needed a specialist to go to, a certain expert in radio. And now this is what I'm seeing. Everybody, as though we came out as an expert. It's just the time. That's what we are.
It's the time.
Yeah, it is the time. It's probably 1,000 and millennia, us learning. And now the energy saying, yes, you learned this enough time. Now go on and be your own boss. This is what it is. This is why I just love it. You are being supported to speak your truth to yourself and to others. If it's hard for them to tell the truth to others, just tell it to yourself and your family. What is truth for you? Just know what it is. Ask yourself, what is true for me? Right? Before, I was one of those people that I would do anything to make the other person happy. Yes. And then I was miserable. And I was
spending a lot of energy doing it too.
Exactly. And I was never happy. That's what I thought I was doing to make them happy, but they never, anyways. It's a long story. I'm over it.
They're responsible for their happiness. You're responsible for your happiness.
Exactly.
What's the second step? If number 1 is be truthful with yourself and others, the second point
is be present. And the simplest thing that you can do is touch yourself. Literally, rub your arm, pull your hair, whatever you need to do. Don't play with your hair, because we can go into a zone with playing.
Right, no doubt.
Like do something physical with your physical body.
Stomp your feet or clap your hands or
exactly.
stomp your chest. Yes.
Something physical that brings you, I'm right here. And then the third one, and the most important one, be grateful for anything, one thing, like your delicious cup of coffee, if that's what it is for you. Like somebody giving you a smile walking down the street, whatever it is, just find one thing to be grateful, to open your heart, because we need to open our heart to receive the love.
That's a very true thing, because we do block ourselves. We don't feel love around us, and we shut ourselves down more and more.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, because if you do notice that there is kindness and there is love.
Yeah, and even to your plant, I walk down the trees and I look at them and I literally, like from my heart, I give them love, because it's so beautiful to look at it, and it's so refreshing, and it's giving us that exchange of whatever we exchange, the oxygen. And I've been doing a tradition for my home to buy myself flowers. I don't wait anybody to buy me flowers. I do it for myself. And every time I look at them, I say thank you, because it just makes me happy.
Yes. Yes.
That's another way personally for me to stay grounded, connected, and be grateful. That's what it does. Gratitude opens our heart, and that's the greatest place to radiate love, to give to others. Another thing to be present, if you wanted to, is a workout.
That's right, because that's connection to the ground and the body. Zahra, I wish we had another hour in this show, because you have brought through some really amazing concepts, very profound, very concise. Be truthful with yourself and others, be present, be grateful, the connection between our chakras and astrology. Zahra, you have been a pleasure to have on the show. We appreciate your coming so much. Again, if you'd like to meet Zahra and set up a session with her, either for a reading or for astrological consult, or to set a session up and discover more about how your astrology affects your chakras, you can find her at blogtalkradio.com/solar temple radio. That's solar like the sun, temple, radio. She's also at email address mediumastro4@gmail.com. And you can find her directly on her cell. It's an international call for those of you in the U.S. or overseas. She's at 613-914-6041. And if you're interested in past episodes of the show or to contact me, my website is mediumtracylockwood.com. That's medium, Tracey, Lockwood.com. I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. Zahra, you've made it a very special show, and we appreciate that. I hope that our listeners have enjoyed the show. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week for a view of life from a medium's perspective. And remember, it's never inappropriate to be kind and without integrity.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Zahra.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.